welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm just going to teach you the basics of After Effects, with like positioning and scaling and stuff. Okay, first you want to go File, New Project. Okay, if you ever want to insert footage, you just double click in the project box and you can search for whatever you want. But for now, we're going to go up to the top and go Composition, New Composition, and you'll come up with this box saying Composition Settings. You want to name it. I'm just going to name my test. Width 1280 by 720. They're HD settings, so on YouTube this video will be HD. Duration, we'll just make it really short. We'll make it 5 seconds. Then 30 frames per second will be fine. Okay, hit OK. Then what we want to do, we'll just make a basic like text animation. So you go up to the top and go text tool, this little T, then click in the composition, type in whatever you want, lazy boy. Okay, then go back to the select tool and you can move it around. You can also hold down shift and it will like smooth it out. Okay, first I guess we'll put some effects into the text. So you click on your layer down the bottom here, go Effect, up the top Effect, Generate, and we'll go Ramp maybe, and you get these two little points. These are points, you want to adjust them so that they look pretty cool, I guess. Okay, over here you'll have your effects, all your effects. The starting color, I want that one to be white, and I want the end color to be, I don't know, maybe a dark orange. Okay, now we have a cool little effect. Then we'll add another effect. Effect, Stylize, Glow. Okay, now it gives a really cool effect. A really cool glowing effect. And it just, you'll have all your settings, you can just play around with them. Usually all you need is the intensity, the radius and the threshold. Just adjust them to whatever you like. Okay, now we'll get into positioning our text. Okay, so we'll click on the text tool and click this little arrow here and it'll bring up, it'll say text, effects, transform. In the text it'll have like where your text is located. You really don't need that. And the second one is effects. They're the effects that we just added so that you can like do keyframes and stuff, which we'll get into later. Okay, we don't need the effects. Okay, what we want is transform. So this will have the anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity. Okay, anchor point is like the center. Position is where you want it, like where it is. Scale is, if you adjust the scale, it's how big it is and how small it is. 100 is normal. Rotation, you adjust the rotation, it'll like twirl around or something. Opacity is how much you can see it. So if the opacity is 0, you won't be able to see it at all. If it's 100, you see it perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to animate the text. Just a really simple little animation. So you're going to go, okay, we'll go to the position, and next to the position it'll have this little stopwatch. You want to click the little stopwatch and that turns on the keyframes. Now over in your timeline here, it'll create a little tiny keyframe here, little diamond shaped thing. And what you want to do, you want to make it the starting position. This is where it's going to start. You want to drag your text over to wherever you want. Okay, so that's where it's going to start. Then if we move over a bit in the timeline, go over to the left here, click this little diamond, and it will come up with like a little box. That means you've added a keyframe. If you click it again, it'll get rid of the keyframe. Alright, so we want to keep a keyframe on, and maybe you want to move it over a little tiny bit. So now if we watch back, okay, to watch back on your videos, hit 0 on your numpad keyboard and it'll just view it. So now you've just got the text moving across the screen like that. Alright, simple enough? Okay. Next, okay, we'll go back to this first keyframe. Make sure the timeline is scale. Alright, so you click scale and you go, it'll create the keyframe there. You want to go over to the end position and we'll make the scale a bit bigger. So now, whilst that moves, it'll get a bit bigger at the same time. See that? Okay, so that's a basic little animation. Okay, do the same thing with the opacity, alright? We don't really want rotation at the moment. Okay, so you want to start the opacity. Let's go there, click the keyframe again, go to the end, and you want to make the opacity to 0. Alright? So now it'll do a little fade. Simple enough to understand. That looks pretty cool. Alright, so now you got your basic little animation. What you can do, you can go to your text, go Control D, and it will duplicate your layer. Alright, or you can go up to Edit and then duplicate there, right there. But Control D is just easier. Okay, to view all the keyframes you've done on something, click U. Alright, and now see how that'll come up with all the keyframes. What we did with our copied, we'll hit U on it as well. And what you want to do, we'll move these over so that this text will begin. You can actually shrink it by going over to the beginning of it and dragging it over to where we want it. So now this will start when that ends. But we can also change what this says. So you can highlight it and make it say designs. So now, if we view the whole thing, Lazy Boy Designs. Simple enough. What you could do, you could actually go to the beginning here, see your opacity. You could maybe set that to 0 on your first keyframe. Go over a little bit and set it to 100. So now that'll fade in, then fade out again. There you go. It's a pretty cool little animation. Good looking little font. I'm going to show you how to render it. Okay. So what you want to do, over here in your project, this is your composition. So this is everything put together. And what you want to do to get this, to mix all these layers together, what you want to do, you want to drag the test, go down to this little button. This is called, it's like a new composition button. So you drag it into there. So now everything, it's the exact same. All it is just everything's combined. Alright? Okay. So I'm going to go to this. Okay. So now you've got your little test video, right? I'm going to go click on it, go File, Export, and whatever you want to export it to. I like to export it to a QuickTime. I reckon that's better settings. Make the settings up to best. Go OK, OK. Save it as whatever you want. Then just click Save. It'll come up with this little rendering box on how much it's rendered. And when that's done, it'll save to wherever you saved it to. Simple enough. And this will be your result. Alright guys, thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it helped you. And if anyone wants me to make them a tutorial, just comment or send me a message. Don't forget to visit lazyboydesigns.com. It'll be over in the description. Alright, thanks guys. See you later.